You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine. Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Straight Talk with Sally. It is podcast batching day, and we missed last hour because my guest, Jackie Ashley, is sick. And can I tell you the truth? So am I. But that's okay. She's a little bit more sick than me. You know, I'm staying at her house right now. It's very, very funny. This interview had been planned very far into the future, but it happened to be that I am at her house. So we missed our last session, but we are back with our final guest for today. So we did have an amazing guest this morning. We had the fabulous, the sensational Katrina. We will bring you Jackie Ashley later on. Maybe this weekend we will catch up with Jackie, and now we have Mandy going to be joining us. But look, guys, if you don't want to miss any of our live events, make sure that you go to sparkleclassacademy.com calendar, and if you're catching this out on the live stream, then make sure you hit the subscribe and ding ding and make sure you turn on those notifications. But we've got an amazing guest lined up for you for this session. Now, I know this lady. She's an automation nerd just like me, and I think that's amazing. Our guest runs two multi-award winning agencies focused on building websites and custom making automation and implementation with Keep, which we all know I love. She's also the founder of the digital agency Hub and it's a dedicated directory helping small businesses find Australian-based quality digital agencies that generally care about their clients. And we're all about the results, caring, good karma, and all that stuff. So I think that's why we align quite well together. She believes in helping more businesses leverage digital marketing to help them grow faster, and also for business owners to be able to focus on what they do best, helping and serving in their zone of genius, right? So let me welcome our amazing, wonderful guest, Mandy.
Hello.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi,
Welcome to
Sally.
Straight Talk with Sally. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Well, obviously you're not quite well, but how are you doing?
Yeah, no, I've only got to look good from here to here. You don't need to know what's going on down there. But no, good. I'm in Sydney. The weather's beautiful. I've got a great view, and I'm getting to talk to you. So that's for a good day.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the invite. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Yeah, I can't wait to kind of share with everyone what you've been up to. But before we dig into today's topic, which, I've got stories to share around this just as much as you've got stories to share around it as well. I'd love you to share with the audience, what it is you do, but also some background to, where you've come from and why you do what you do right now.
Yeah, love to share, Sally. So I actually have a background, you may actually not even know this. I have a background in HR. So I was in the corporate world for 10 years, but I had a focus on analytics, process, reporting. So that geeky keep nerd that I now am, really those bones came a long time ago when I started in, those types of roles in corporate. So when I was in corporate, I was transitioning. I wanted to have my own business like a lot of people do. And I was like, oh, well, how can I make that transition? And I was about to launch a membership site with recruitment strategies and tips and those sorts of things for small businesses. And that's kind of where my shocking digital marketing story comes from. But I'll park on that for the moment. But I transitioned out of that and I got exposed to Keep. And there wasn't a lot of help for Keep users in Australia at the time. And there was some opportunities for me to get some training. So I got some training. I'd used it for a number of years myself. And I thought, well, why don't I just go and help the people in Australia who need help implementing it for their business?
Yep.
So that was back in, I think, 2014. So I've been mainly doing Keep custom implementation since then. And then the last couple of years, my partner and I have launched a website agency. So we also help people get their brands online with websites that look good and also get ranked well as well.
Oh, that's excellent. Wow. 2014, I was not even near Keep then. I think when we first met, you were at the Melbourne event. You did the Melbourne event when we...
Yeah.
I was with Keep then for about a month. I was so green. I had no idea what I was getting myself into with the Keep community. You all seemed so tight and friendly, and I was like, I felt like a stranger. But by the end of the day, after I got to meet you and Tim, and I can see Meppy's checking us out. Hey, Meppy. And Christelle, and I don't know, I just felt like I really fit in. It's such a beautiful community, right? Like, yeah.
It is. And it's probably one of the main reasons why I've stuck around with Keep. I know there's a lot of different platforms available now, and there's probably two reasons. The community is amazing. And I think there's such an alignment of values there, which is really important for me. But also it's a very powerful system and you can do a lot with it. So yeah, I'm so grateful for the journey I've been on to still be able to do that type of work today and help businesses. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I get to geek out. You know what it's like. So
and then the more complicated clients come with, all these ideas. I'm like, yes, give them to me, right? The and like you said, it's the values, but it is the community. Like, I mean, I help a few and use lots of other software, but the support that Keep give to their partners, there is no other software company out there that I see do that. Like, we literally have our own coach as part of being part of the program, and and blessed to meet people like you, and we all get to come together, and there's no worry about people stealing other people's people. We all just help each other, which is amazing, being that we're all using the same software, right? So I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so good.
Sure.
Well, we're going to talk today. Our topic today is about lessons from losing 25K on selecting the wrong agency. Now, I know there are so many people out there looking for agencies or coaches, and sometimes when you get up into those, multiple five-figure investments, gets a little scary, right? You're stepping out into that uncomfort zone. Will it work? Won't it work? And it can be quite daunting, especially when you're not sure and you've never really done this before. Tanya's joining us on the live as well. It looks like they're all flying on in. Hey,
Hey, Tanya.
Tanya. So my first question from you, with you, is, why are there so many? Like, there are agencies, I've hired them myself, that they're a bit shocking, right? And there's some stories of us like losing so much money with the wrong people. Why do you think there's so many of those types of people out there now?
Oh, I think a variety of different reasons. I think the barrier to entry is basically you have a computer,
Yeah.
internet, you can be a digital marketing expert, right? So the barrier to entry is there's really none. And that's a good thing as well as a downside, right? Because it gave the opportunity I know for me personally, it gave me the opportunity to be able to dabble in digital marketing myself initially, and obviously learn more and train and get more experience. So that's great. But then there's a side of it that there's a bunch of people obviously that don't know what they're doing, come out there and say, hey, yes, I am a digital marketing expert, and they don't necessarily have runs on the board. So there's the low barrier to entry. There's no regulation or a professional body in which anyone can go to check, hey, is this person legit? And again, there's pros and cons of that. There's pros and cons of that, which I'll just park on that. There's a whole, that's probably the main couple. But I think as well, for a lot of business owners, this is not their genius zone. Like, they have their area of expertise that they excel in, which is fantastic, and that's why they do what they do. So when they go looking, as you said, for somebody to help them with their digital marketing, they don't really know what they don't know. So they're kind of led by a consultant or an agency of, hey, this is what you should be doing, or they might rattle off some terms that the business owner just doesn't understand. They just don't know. And it's like, okay, cool, just take care of it. Or maybe in some cases it's just too hard and I'm not going to do anything, or I'm going to try and do it myself, or, a bunch of those in between combinations as well. So it's, it can be hard to really be able to articulate, hey, I really need help with this.
Yeah.
Or even more importantly, I'm after this specific result. How can you help me get there? So that you can go and find somebody who can help you and has the track record to actually make that happen for you. So I think there's some of the main ones. I'm just looking at my notes here if there was some other ones there, but I'm sure you've probably got some more to add there, Sally.
Yeah, look, I agree that where people have a laptop and they can access the internet, and all of a sudden they're a digital marketing guru, and they just have to use the right couple of words. And if people haven't done their due diligence and done their research, looked at case studies and results, when you're just looking for help too, sometimes it can be just easier to hire somebody because you think that it's going to be easier. I mean, we've lost money on quite a few different agencies and Facebook ads people, but like exactly like you said though, our clients, they don't know marketing, automation, all of the things that we do. That's what we do all day, every day, from the moment we wake up, and sometimes in our dreams.
Yes.
I'm like always dreaming about tags and squiggly lines, right?
Yeah.
But they've got their zone of genius, their inner sparkle, that thing that they do. But to get it out to the world, they need an expert. And people try to dabble, but that's usually why a lot of people get held back, is they're always trying to like dabble. Just, if you're really serious, you can find people that you can hire, but do your due diligence, right? Because it was the same as, like, I've studied for years to be a photographer, right? Back in the darkroom days, you only had like 12 photos you could take on a roll of film or 24, right? You had to get it right. And now people have this, or anyone can buy a DSLR and they're like, oh, I'm a photographer now. And I studied for years to be a photographer.
Yeah, yeah,
Like we've
yeah,
been at this for
absolutely.
a while now, right? I mean, you've been at it longer than me, but you're still to be going so many years into this. What would it be? What you said, 2014?
Yeah. So
So,
a user since 2012. Well,
yeah.
actually, I've been using Keep for 10 years. Oh,
Wow.
wow. Yeah, long time.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I can, Sally, let me share the story about the agency if I can, because I
Yeah,
want to make
definitely.
sure I don't forget to share it. Because at the time when I was looking at transitioning out of that corporate job into doing my own thing, I had an agency from the US come over and they were presenting from stage and they were sharing about Keep. Actually, it was my first exposure to Keep. And they talked about the ability to be able to send emails. If people click on emails, and you can follow up with them differently depending on the action that they're taking. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I'd been seeing websites, I've been involved with websites and had a few websites that I've built over the years. And I was like, wow, you can do this on the back end. You can basically really target people and stalk them if you want to, and really create that custom experience. Like, this is amazing. And it was at this event that they spoke about Keep and membership platform, and we had the interview, and I'm like, yeah, this is what's going to help transition me out of that corporate world, and building this platform and automation on the back end. I was so excited. And then we started working, we got so far in the project, and then disappeared. Didn't hear from them. And then found out that they went belly up. So I'd
Oh,
lost that money. I at the time it was a hard slog, because 25 grand US as
yeah.
well. I don't know what the exchange was at the time. It's probably better than what it is now, to be honest. I don't know, but it's still a lot of money in a startup phase to try and get something out there and prove the concept. And then I paid another agency 5 grand to help kind of finish the project off.
Hmm.
Anyway, so it was just like, wow. But I'm so grateful for it now, because I would never have been exposed to Keep if I hadn't had that experience. And I'm a believer, everything kind of happens for a reason, and it led me on this path. And, like what I get to do every day. And I'm so like you, Sally. Automation, I'm in the shower thinking about automation, how I'm going to fix that problem for a client.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a massive build with complex problems at the moment. I'm just loving it. And
Yes.
yes, it was hard at the time, but I'm so grateful, because it also made me take a step back and go, okay, so I really want to take control of this digital marketing aspect of my business. And I took some time to learn and train myself up. Now, it's not necessarily that you have to do that. Absolutely not. I think there's some level of understanding that everyone needs to know,
Yeah.
so that they can outsource and partner with agencies and consultants more effectively. But for me, it was just like the catalyst of this amazing life that I now live because of that investment.
Yeah, how good is that? And I like how, people don't need to know everything, but they still need to know some. Like
Yeah.
when we get the clients in, they don't need to know it like we know it. And even still, I have so much to learn, that there are still so many things within the software. I'm like, oh, I wish I want to have the time to learn how to do it. Like all that dynamic content stuff. And I'm like, oh,
Yes.
that would be so, like, I haven't even got there yet. Um, but like you, yeah, when there's a complicated problem, I get so excited just trying to figure it out. I'm in the business of problem solving. You're
Yeah.
right. It's what we do all day, every day, thinking of better ways, faster ways, more simple ways.
Yeah.
Um, so, what would you say would be the biggest lesson that you learned from this experience?
Ooh, biggest lesson. Oh, well, I think taking the time to realize what benefit I got out of it, because I could have been a very, and it probably was for a little bit, very bitter bitter person at the world of losing this money, right? It was a sizable investment at the time. But I think just taking a step back, and I think with anything in life, if something hasn't quite worked out, is taking that step back and going, okay, so what can I take from this, and what can I do differently next time? So for well, I feel like it's a bit different because I probably haven't engaged any agencies from that point, to be honest. I've probably gone, all right, I'm taking this in and I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I have little bits and pieces, not to maybe that investment, but that was important for me, just to work out, well, what would those next steps be? Okay, what's the lesson? But okay, so how am I going to get to that result that I'm looking for,
Yeah.
and being clear on that path so that I could still get there.
Yeah. Do you still use agencies I mean for outsourcing for other reasons other than what you're specializing in? Do you use other
Yes.
agencies?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I started the directory that I know you mentioned at the start.
Mhm.
Is I'm an expert at Keep, and I can do websites and I can do SEO. Anything else I can't. I'm not a copywriter. I'm not a photographer. I haven't spent all those years that you have, Sally, being so patient and doing photography and videography and lead generate, like all these things I don't do. And I'm completely fine about saying I don't do that. And over the years, with businesses that come to me to get help on their automation or build a website, they will often need help for those other areas of digital marketing. And that's where I've partnered with other people that I've trusted and worked with over the years, that I know who will take care of their clients, to our clients, and help them get the results and partner with us to work together to make it happen. So that's one of the reasons why I started the directory, and also for the experience that I had, because I don't want anyone else to have a similar experience to what I had. And I want them to find good operators like yourself, Sally, who have a niche, know your niche, and you work so hard for the clients that you work with, and be able to find other digital marketers and digital consultants and agencies who do care and do get the results they're looking for. So that's a couple of the reasons why I created the directory, because I can't do it all, and I want our businesses in this country and around the world to get the right support that they need
Yeah.
to help them grow. So we all win, right? We all
Yeah.
want to win.
Yeah, that's right. And I love how you said that, you stay in your own lane, right? You're not a copywriter. I mean, I fumbled around with copywriting, and I'm glad marketing copy is like a fifth grader, right? But the emotional connection, I get a bit stuck in all of that stuff. I mean, that's why we have like Megan on our team. She's watching right now. Hi. And same, like we hire guys for ads, like I used to do it, but why, when I don't enjoy it, if I can have somebody else who wakes up like we do, excited about tagging and automation, and find somebody else to do that. I mean, at the start, sure, it's hard because you've got to wear all the hats and you don't have the money, but what I found was the more that I invested in staff, in experts, the actual better results I got versus trying to figure it all out myself and wear all the hats. And I struggled to hire. It was very hard for me because I can do it fast and I can do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do it good enough. I don't always enjoy it, but I know I will get it done. And finding people not only to do the job, but you trust, right? That have results, that care. And it's not just about the money, because I mean, what we do, we love it. But I mean, the money's great, don't get me wrong. But also we care about our people and finding people that care. And I know within the Keep community, everyone's hiring everyone, right? Like, because everyone's got their own expertise, and that's what I love. I mean, John Bellamy's working in the Sparkle world now, right? Like, we're all hiring each other because we've all got
and
our
Mark,
different areas.
I know Mark's here. Like, he does all the deliverability stuff for all of our clients, because I just won't touch, and that's such a important topic right now, more than ever. So Mark, and there's other people
We're
that
going
we
to have to
partner
get
with
you
as
on,
well.
Mark, if you're watching, just saying, for the deliverability side. Yeah, we paid Mark to come in because our deliverability was not good.
Yeah.
We
And he
was
helped, right?
Yeah, so good. Like now we get in inboxes so much better. It took a long time. It's an orange heart. I see you. We took a long time to understand deliverability. It's a whole beast of its own, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I no clue. I'm like, I've got no idea what I'm doing wrong. He come in, he wrote a report, he connected me with like deliverability defender, and now like we've got a healthy list. So yeah, it's really good. And I mean, even like Tanya, she's like into the franchising stuff, and we've all got our own little area, but we all kind of congregate around, as Christelle would say, bleeding green.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. But one thing I do want to touch on, Sally, before I forget, because you were saying about, you can go and make the time to learn all these things, and this is why it's so incredible just to partner with the right people, engage with the right consultant or agency to help you out, because that's the thing. Like I can't remember who said it, but it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, right? Who's got the time as a business owner to invest that time to become an expert in, Facebook ads or whatever it is?
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, if you engage the wrong agency or consultant who may not be at the level that you need, then what's the time delay? What customers are you going to lose in that time? That's 6 months of you not being out there and reaching the ideal customers that you want to reach. And then you may lose some off your list. Like if you haven't sorted out your deliverability, then you could be going backwards by also not doing anything or engaging the wrong people as well. So there's so many other elements to it. But yes, that investment of time, yes, you can learn and do it yourself. And some people want to, and certainly if they have the time, great. But if you're really serious about your business, then it's best just to find those trusted people who can help you get there faster.
Yeah, 100% agree, because you can always make more money, right? There's not a lack of opportunity. I could literally go into my garage and probably make a few $1,000s, right? With the amount of rubbish. No, it's not rubbish. My husband would say it's keepsakes.
I've got the same situation here, Sally. So one car's on the street.
Oh, what do they say? It's so once it moved from the spare room to the garage, it's no longer like, it becomes, the garage is where the garbage goes, and you're supposed to start actually emptying it out. Problem was, my husband then went and built a garage that's the same size as our house, and it's twice as tall. So it's just stuff everywhere. I love him. They used to call me the throwaway monster. I'd go and throw things away, and they'd go back through it and pull things out. So, but like, you can't make more time, right?
No.
You just can't. And I remember when I started my business, one of my big goals was to hire a housekeeper, right? Because I would prefer to be chatting with you than cleaning. Simple.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was, I remember when I started my business, I said, honey, give me 5 years. And my goal was to like stop arguing with him and have someone clean the house. 5 years yesterday, and I have a housekeeper. She comes every day of the week.
Oh, every day. Oh,
every day of the week, baby. Oh, so good. But I remember I had it every week, every month. You'd write down you what you want, and I even had like a picture of like a concierge housekeeper that I interviewed way back then. That I'm like, one day I'll be able to afford a concierge. Well, she's not really, but she cleans and she sorts my underwear and all sorts of things. And I'm like, my time is better spent with my clients, or on sales calls, automating things to make processes better than standing around cleaning my house.
Yeah.
Right? Because I
And
can't.
then no doubt, yeah. And I'm sorry, Sally, but no doubt as well that the time you have with your family is more quality time as well.
That's right. He's no longer angry at me because the dishes aren't done. It's like, we don't have to do the dishes.
Yay!
We can go and watch telly or garden together instead, right? And his love language is quality time. So, Mine's words of affirmation. He's just got to say, I'm proud of you and I'm good for a month.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Love languages are so powerful once you know what you both are and can
Yeah.
speak to it.
And how
So,
you
yeah.
give and receive. He's acts of service for giving. That's how he likes to give love, do for us. He makes sure that my feet are warm and I'm tucked in and all the things.
Oh,
So sweet. Everyone needs a
yeah.
daddy.
Yeah,
We're
that's
so
so
off
sweet.
topic, but that's how it's a good conversation when we go off on sorts of
Yeah.
tangents.
Yeah.
So why don't you help our listeners and viewers with, if they are looking to select an agency,
Yeah.
some things that they should really be taking into account or doing as well?
Yes. Yeah, it's a good question. So the first thing is just take a step back and really think about, well, what do you actually need? Like, what are you trying to achieve here? Because um, it's all well and good to go to an agency, but if they're a good one, they should be asking those questions anyway. But if you take a step back and say, okay, well, what are we actually looking to do here? And getting to the core of what that is. So yeah, I want to do Facebook ads. Is that actually what you need? Is it lead generation? And the mechanism for you to get the leads may be Facebook ads, but in that discovery with that agency or the consultant that you're working with, they're no doubt going to dive into understanding who your market is, where are they, and is that the best avenue for you, and all those sorts of things. So getting really clear about, well, what is it that you actually need? Okay, leads. You need leads, lead generation, just as an example.
Yeah.
So getting clear on that, what specific results are you looking for? It's good to have an idea about budget. And when I say an idea, I also encourage you to be open, because a really good agency or consultant or an expert, if you particularly around the lead gen stuff, you should be having a look at the return on your investment. Because if you're going to spend $1,000 and get $5,000 back, are you okay with that? I'd probably say you are. And that's just maybe on the front end. What potentially could you get on the back end? So just consider what you may have available to invest in this and what return on investment you might be looking to get. So some of the other things, let me just check my notes here. I'm sure I'm going to be missing something. So that's some of the things on the back end. And then think about, if you have worked with somebody before, think about the people that, and it could be in a digital marketing sense or just other suppliers that you have in your business. What do you find is a good working relationship for you with another provider? Because you may need somebody who really wants to, that holds your hand through the entire process. And that's okay, because if you're clear about what you really need from an agency or consultant, then you can go out there and ideally find that perfect match for you, because it's got to be a match from both parties as well.
Yeah.
Because if you go there and find someone, Sally, I want you to answer all my emails I'm going to email you 3 times a day with all my questions. Can you help me? Are you the best one for me? Well, probably not, right?
Yeah.
I assume that's
Yeah, no. I
the
do
way
not
at this
read my own
point.
emails. I just go to my
Exactly.
team and I say, is there anything important I need to know?
Exactly.
I hate reading.
Yeah, completely get it. And it's being clear about, okay, what's worked well with the partnerships that you've had in the past, and what may not have worked so well, so that you can really start to build that list of, okay, what are you looking for in a partner? So that's really important. So you need to do that groundwork first before you go out and start approaching them. So then when you start approaching them, obviously you've got a bit of an idea about, what it is that you're looking for. And then you can go in and kind of look for, okay, who's offering that type of service? We want to also do your due diligence, as you said, Sally. You want to kind of do some research. And that's why one of the reasons, as I said, we created the directory to list some of the best talent that we have in this country. So you can certainly go there and have a look to see who can help with the particular service that you're looking for. But then you want to find them, you want to do some research, check out their website, check out, do they actually do what it is that you want them to do?
Yeah.
And you want to do some research. Is there some case studies? Is there some testimonies? You want to go on Google? There's some reviews there. Facebook, do your homework. Who owns the business? What's their track record as well? Have they won awards? Are they recognized in the industry? Are they out there promoting themselves? Are they, I want to say qualified, but you and I both know you could be doing this for a number of years and have so many wins, wins under your belt. Is that the word? Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
saying, right?
Yeah.
Wins under your belt, as opposed to somebody who's just graduated and got a marketing degree from university. They've done nothing. They've
Yeah.
just spent, and I'm sure there's some valuable lessons there, but they're not on the tools and
That's it.
not getting the results for their clients. One other thing too is, do they have experience in your industry?
Mm-hmm.
And have they got specific results in the industry that you're in, or can they transfer the principles that they apply in other industries to yours? And in some cases that's really important, other cases not so much. So me building some automation for one type of business versus the other, like the automation is still powerful in its form, not necessarily industry specific, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
um, a couple other things. Cultural fit. Are you a good cultural fit? Like, are
Mm-hmm.
you, like, if you met them, uh, do you have the same type of values? And communication, the level of communication is where you want it to be. Responsiveness. um, we aren't all perfect, and I've made some stuff ups over the years, and I'm the first one to say, hey, yeah, I stuffed up. It didn't work out like I thought, and here I'm going to go and fix it for you. I mean, we all try and do the best we can, but with anything in technology, digital marketing, you've got to try things to see if they work. So you want to get a sense of that, if they're a good cultural fit as well. And then at the end of the day, gut feel. I think it's important just to be present about that. Do you have a good feeling with this person? Do you actually get along with this person too? Like, if you're planning on having a really close working relationship with somebody, you know, do you want to hang out with them? And you don't necessarily have to, but probably spend a fair bit of time with them too. So do you connect with them? And would you be comfortable with working with them long term? So yeah, that's probably some of the. I'm sure I've missed some, Sally, but they're
It was
probably
really
some of
good.
the
I've been
main ones.
writing down what you're saying, right? Because I love a good dot point. So first off, it's like sit down and work out what you need,
Yeah,
right? Because it's good and well and good enough to think, hey, I want to take some things off my plate or get better in a certain area, but you need to know what you want, because there are so many options out there. And then what result at the end do you want? And then also working on your ROI and budget. So it's so important, because as business owners, we can't put our head in the sand, right? And just guess when it comes to numbers and money and results. And, people worry about investing, say, in us, and they look at the larger, like, annual amount, and then they like, like swallow, and like it's too much. But then I had a coaching session with a guy called Pat Flynn, and I was talking to him about like hiring a particular type of person, and it was going to be like $150,000. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't know if it's really worth it right now for me. And he goes, well, you're just looking at the larger figure. He says, think about what you have to pay for a month, 2 months, and then that person's going to be making you money. Stop looking at the larger figure. And what's the money on the back end? Like you just said, what's the back end stuff you get that you don't even take into account? And so, like, we've been in Sales Week this week talking to people thinking about coming into our community, and they hold themselves back because of the large 12-month figure. And they don't break it down into what will you have from that month to month? What's your back end results? I call it the snowball effect of, you get those leads in. It takes them 3 to 6 months to say yes to you. The work we do today affects in 6 months. That's that back end money that starts to accumulate over time, that all of a sudden you've done like 150K in a week and you're like, sweet, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't start that way. But you've got
Yeah.
to watch those numbers. And when you're approaching an agency, I love how you said have an open mind, because if we don't weigh up all the pros, all the cons, all the options, then we're literally just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Spot
then
on,
you
Sally.
said here, think about previous relationships and business relationships. That's a really good point. I've never really thought about it like that. It's like every year we write down our ideal customer, right? And then you think about, what's the best person you've worked with and all the traits that they have that you would want, and maybe mix up 2 or 3 different people and you make this beautiful customer. Same
Yeah.
when you hire people in agencies. Think about
Yeah.
previous working relationships. I thought that was really, really good because I'd never really thought about it in that aspect before. Research, of course, make sure they've worked in your niche. I think that's really important. I've hired people that haven't worked in my niche and lost 20K, right? Because they promised the world, but they really didn't understand my niche at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, cultural values need to understand. Everything comes back to values.
Yeah.
You could have the best, like, smartest person on your team, but if they don't have the same values and beliefs, it's never going to work, right? These,
Yeah.
bro code. Well, we're definitely not bro code type of business. We're all about results and a bit woohoo, heart centered and all of the things, right? And our people and our employees need to be the same,
Yeah.
to
Completely.
match. Sure,
Yeah.
we love our numbers, but we still like, manifesting, all the good things. And I'm upset Jackie couldn't come for our last session because that was about the science behind manifestation she was going to talk about. So
Oh,
everybody keep an eye out. That'll be
yeah.
happening as soon as she's feeling better. Well, Mandy, tell me a little bit more about your online platform, because
Yeah.
we've gone on there and we've put all our stuff in there, and share with people, especially those listening who might think, they would like to get onto that platform and
Yeah.
also refer people to it as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Sally. So, yeah, it's digitalagencyhub.com.au. So, it's designed to be um, a directory that showcases digital consultants, so people that are working just a one to one to agencies, those that have a full blown agency with team members. So it's to allow businesses in this country to be able to find, well, around the world, but specifically find people based in Australia. And you can do a bunch of filtering, because at the moment, as we know, Sally, like, you may already have an existing system, so you need somebody who can work with that system, but also help you with this other, this particular service. Like, I need a membership platform, and I need somebody to build it with Keep. So we've got functionality in there that you can do searches to find people that fit that criteria for you. And then you can go and find and read their profile, find out a little bit more about them, and obviously go and contact them directly, or check out their website for more information. So the other thing too, as you touched on, Sally, if there's really good, like, if you're already working in addition with Sally, but if you're really working with some top-notch people in Australia, we want to know about them. We want to celebrate them, and we invite anyone who's, as I said, taking care of their clients and helping them get, like, good results. Then we want to hear about them, and feel free, they can come and sign up for a listing for free, or a paid one if they want. But we really want to celebrate the talent that we have here. Like, you don't have to go overseas, and I think that was drawing this back to the start of this conversation around my big investment at the time. I thought I had to go to the US to get the expertise that I needed. No, that's not the case. There are so many. I'm blown away all the time, and most of the people I partner with, actually probably 99% of the people that I partner with, are in this amazing country that we're in. So yeah, feel free to check it out if if you are an agency or a consultant and want to showcase your services. Absolutely would love to have you there. Otherwise, if you're a business looking to find somebody, then you can also use that search functionality too.
Yeah, I love that search functionality because, it's not, it's the tech. Everyone has to have some sort of tech, right? But we don't want to be rebuilding our tech into all the, constantly migrating from system to system. So if you've already got a functioning system that just needs someone to come in and, make it a little better without having to rebuild everything, I thought that's really smart, having that filter system so that you know what systems you're currently using. And at the end of the day, it's not just the tech, it's utilizing the tech to its fullest capabilities, right? Like, you get so many people who will give up on the tech because they haven't been able to utilize its full functionality. And you hear it all the time, like, oh, it just sends emails. No, it does not. It's not just,
Yeah.
automation is not just email. It is so much more than that. I call it
Yeah.
my staff in a box. That's what I call Keep.
Yes. Oh, Yeah.
isn't it? How
Spot
much
on.
time it saves us. It is,
Yeah.
before I could afford employees, I could at least have Keep save me time doing those
Yeah.
repetitive tasks. I think it was Tyler Garnes that said to me once, oh, if you do it 3 times, stop and ask yourself, can that
Oh,
be
that's a good one.
automated?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, yes, I do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, the first time I met you, Sally, I remember you were sharing some type of kind of systemized process or something. You can't remember, a framework that you created, and I'm like,
Challenges. Was it the presentation that I
yeah,
did in Melbourne?
yeah,
Yes.
maybe it was. Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I gave out little workbooks with all of the systems and the
yeah.
infographics of how
Yeah.
everything connects.
I'm like, I love how this woman's brain goes and thinks. Oh my gosh, I completely get it, and this is fantastic. You systemize your process, like
Yeah,
it's
I
brilliant.
think even when I was a
Oh, what happened there?
celebrate. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. So yeah, I speak in infographics. My brain thinks in pictures and lines. And I think when I was studying as well, like I loved studying infographics when I was doing graphic design work. And I think that's a little bit why Keep was so attractive after using like lead pages and click, and everything's like lined up underneath, and then you can't know where everything's connected. I just love the lines, and I can see where everything joins. I think that's why I like ManyChat as well. But my
Oh
fabulous
yeah,
Rita looks after my ManyChat for me. But yeah, I love that visual pit. I think in pictures.
yeah,
And I don't really read, I listen because I'm very, very visual and love color and
yeah,
art and all the things. So,
yeah.
yeah. I'm having a really, really good time with you. We could stay here all day.
I
All right.
know.
So
It's a
my
good
team
chat.
always make me go into sparkle questions towards the end. So just some random questions about you. So my first one I'd like to ask you is, what's one common myth about your profession that you would like to debunk, that people might assume about your profession?
Probably the first thing that comes to mind is we're not all bad. Um, there's some, as I said, there's some amazing talent who really do care. Like I know I am, and I know a number of my colleagues, as I'm sure you too, Sally, that we are up at night thinking about your stuff,
Oh
and
my,
we lose sleep, and we just really care about our clients. So probably one thing is, we're not, as much as I've said, I've got buggered over by an agency. We're not all bad, and yeah, there's some gold in there too.
yeah, I love that. I'm the same. Yes, I do fall asleep thinking about my clients, just like you. How can we make their life better? We meet and talk about them all individually in our team meeting about how can we get them there faster? How can we get, their head together? I mean, I hired mindset coaches and all sorts of people because it's more than just building a funnel.
Yeah,
There's so
so
much
much
more to
more.
help business owners through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. Who are 3 people that have inspired you or supported you along the way?
Uh, my partner, Lee. Like, it takes a special man to put up with me. Particularly, we've got a 1-year-old now. Life is pretty hectic, and
Yes.
he's been an amazing support, particularly when he's juggling his own things as well. So definitely Lee. One other person, Greg Jenkins. You and I both know Greg, and he's
Yes.
he's one of the reasons why I became a key partner in the first place. Um, and one of the trainings, I'll digress for a second. One of the trainings that Keep did, they came out to Australia, and he attended with Michael Edelman and a bunch of others. And we went out for dinner after the training, and we were talking about the values of the company. And here are some employees from this company from the US were rattling off the values of their company at dinner. And I'm like, this is not a normal conversation. So I probably have to say, well, Greg and Michael, but Greg particularly, just to see him transition from being a key staff member to where he is now with his business, and just his heart's always in the right place, always so helpful with our entire
Oh,
key
if I put
community.
a
But
if I put a question up inside of the group, he's one of the first people to always jump on and help.
yeah,
Right? Like it, yeah, so good.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, in the spirit of, I guess, this community, I want to say Mark Penny too. Like, he's helped me so many times. Lots of love, Mark, buddy.
Yeah.
There's so many people, like, it's hard to narrow it down to three, but I think just right now, like, particularly when I had some time off, when I had our daughter, he stepped in and helped with a bunch of my clients. And
Oh,
I'm so grateful. And the random messages at late at night, hey, have you done this before? Or how do we do this? Or I've got this problem. Can you help the client with this? And I'm so grateful. As you said at the start, like, our community is amazing, and we all are very close together and work well together, and we have each other's back, and I
yeah.
love that.
And we have a lot of fun when we have partner catch ups, right?
Yes, of course, of course.
I had such a great time when we were all up on the Gold Coast. Like, I didn't want to come home. I actually did stay an
Yeah,
extra day just to be there. Like, it was, yeah, it's always so much fun. I want to make it more of an effort to, like, when they do the trips to America and things like that as well, because there's so many people we speak to online, through the camera, within the community, that I've never been in a room with,
yeah.
and Oh, Mark says I love it. You're so sweet. It is. We are really, really lucky. Like, people, we'll talk. It's not just the software. I think that's what I really like about everything we've done. We all use other software, but the tech stack that we've chosen, that all work together. The values of the businesses as well are very much in alignment with us. It's not just about the software, but it's about the community, the support, and people going above and beyond. Like, I'm struggling with some things with a client, just couldn't figure this one thing out, and we'd been in it and out of it trying to work it out. And I literally just posted in the group, Greg's trying to help fix. The next thing, Tyler Garnes is on a call with us. And then he's in America, she's in America. He's like, oh, well, just call me. Call me tomorrow. We'll sit down and we'll figure this out. So he's just, don't have to pay. They're there to help and support you with your clients, even though they're not their clients. I think it's, hang on. Excuse me. There we go.
There you go, Mark.
There you go, Mark. A real one for you. Yeah. So, we're blessed, aren't we, really, to have found each other. So good. All right. So this one here, Mara always likes me to ask this one because it always puts people on the back foot and they're not quite sure. So if you could be in my shoes as the interviewer and asking yourself a question, what's something that you wished I had asked you but didn't?
Maybe what questions you'd ask when you were looking for an agency or consultant. I think maybe that might help. Just
yeah. So here's my question for you. What questions, Mandy, should you ask when you're looking for an agency?
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you should ask.
Good question, right?
Well, a couple of things. Let me just have a look here. What makes you different to the other agencies or consultants out there? What do you do? What don't you do? Because sometimes I know clients come to us, they assume we do everything, and we don't. One thing that I think is quite important, if we stopped working together, who owns the assets? Who owns the marketing assets? And we had a shocker. One of our website clients came to us and they wanted to get a website built, which is great. And they contacted their existing agency. They completely took the website down that they had already been paying every month for however long, some ridiculous amount, and then they've just cut him out from under him. So it's an easier conversation to have before you start working with somebody about, okay, with the stuff that we do, if and when we stop working together, who owns the stuff? I've seen Facebook ad accounts gone. They don't even have access to what they've done in the past. Like, just shocking stuff. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
you've seen stuff
crazy.
too, Sally, over the years. So it's really important. Please, please ask that. I'd hate for that to happen to anybody else. Um, yeah, describe maybe a similar client that you've worked with that you've been able to achieve what results. Um, Back to thinking about who you've worked with before is ask them what's the best and worst client that you've worked with. And from there, you'll be able to pick up and maybe hear, do you fit into one of those? And it might, and again, it might just not be a good fit. So if you're looking for somebody who provides ongoing email support and that's actually describing their worst client, then that might be a great question to ask. So they go, okay, they're probably not the best fit for me, and that's okay. But yeah, describe the worst and best client that you work with. And look, if you're spending a bit of money, you want to either look at some testimonials, look at some case studies. Don't be afraid to ask to talk to some clients that they've worked with. We're doing a big proposal at the moment, and the prospect has spent some time with a couple of our big clients that we've done similar projects with, and I'm completely fine about that because they want to be comfortable with the decision, and that's completely fine. So I think that was 6 I went rattled off there that I've listed earlier, but hopefully that helps.
Yeah, excellent. I think they're great ones. And really, the one about comparing, what you do and don't do, I think is really important because then you're going in with your eyes wide open, right, of what you can and can't ask for. I do like ideas people as well when I work with people. I don't want yes people just to agree with me either.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Great one.
ideas
Yes.
people. I always say to my team, just say it. Like even if I don't want to use the idea or it's not something that I like, or even if you disagree with something that I'm doing and you think there's another way, tell
Yes.
me. I'll still be the one who makes the decision at the end of the day.
Yes.
But I want a little bit of friction. I want ideas people because if everyone was a yes person, I would never be able to evolve and change. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, I love that. They're actually I was thinking about that yesterday. Actually, they're the clients that my ideal client. They're open to suggestions and they're
Mm.
not stuck in their ways. But that might not be the case for everybody. Maybe I've worked with some over the years who just want to do it their way. That's fine. They're probably not the best fit, but those that
No.
are open, because look, if you're working with somebody, they're going to have some great experience and they're going to be in really in the tools, seeing what's actually working right now. So an idea that you had 6 months ago, 12 months ago that you're trying to implement now, is it still the best thing to do, or is there a better way to do it? And yeah, I think that's ideal for people to be open about that.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
and
Sally, that's a great
like
point.
like you're saying in the tools, I was talking to somebody who wanted to come in and use different tools, and I'm like, you've got to be super competent. Like if you want to take our processes and put it into another piece of software, but when you're using us, I can tell you how to build it with my eyes closed. Like I know where all
Yeah,
the buttons are. I know where they are, third line down, second one around. Like I can tell you where to move your mouse with my eyes closed because
yeah,
we're in it all day, every day. Do you
yeah,
want to be figuring that stuff out, when you could be doing the thing that you love the most?
yeah,
And when you're hiring people, you want them to love doing what it is that they do all day, every day as well. And it really shows through when you do speak to them. And it comes out in their tone and their excitement. And it's not just another deal that they're closing.
yeah,
You can really tell when somebody loves what they do because it's
yeah,
in their voice, it's in their smile, it's in the way they talk about their product. Like we talk about Keep as though it's not just a piece of software.
yeah.
It's a
That's right.
community, it's a family.
Yeah, yeah. Spot on,
Yeah.
Sally.
All
Exactly
right,
right.
Mar, I won't forget. So, I have to ask this. It's a sentence you need to say and complete, and it's the thing we always end with just towards the end of the show. So, this sentence is: Hi, my name is Mandy, and I sparkle because.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Mandy, and I sparkle because I am a problem solver and I love solving problems and geeking out on technology.
Yeah, baby, that's where we get on.
Yeah.
I love it so, so much. Now, Mandy, where's the best place for people to go and to find out about you and all of your sparkling goodness?
Yeah, cool. Well, if the directory is probably the first place to go. So digitalagencyhub.com.au. I've got my key business, which is Streamline for Success, and our website business, which is on-site online, but mainly the directory. Go check out the directory. There's so many amazing providers on there. You definitely want to check them out, or just connect with me on one of those platforms.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that you're helping other agencies and, bringing people together and collaborations, partnerships. It's amazing what we can do when we, don't compete against people, collaborate, have partnerships with purpose. I think it's really important to find people like that. So
partnerships with purpose, Sally. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. I might keep using that one then. When you speak enough, shit just falls out and you're like, oh, that was a good one. Yeah. I'll use that one again.
Remember that one. Yep, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mandy. Now, before we go, guys, if you want, we have done a few more episodes. Don't miss out on any of our lives. We do go live at least weekly, if not a few times a week, and you want to see all of our events, make sure you head to this calendar right here. You can subscribe to it and add it to Google, or subscribe to us here over on YouTube. If you subscribe, we get to dance to all the music when you do. Awesome. Now we have had some amazing guests on today. Well, two actually, because one got sick and she's upstairs sleeping right now. But you want to go back and check out the episode we did earlier today with Katrina. We talked about Reels and TikTok and how to best utilize that platform today. Lots of geeking out on sexy numbers with Mandy and automation tags and all the squiggly lines. I love it. And just about, our little Green Keep family that we have going on as well. Don't miss out. We've got some great guests lined up. I think next week we've even got Pat Flynn on the show. So you want to make sure that you subscribe to that calendar. But Mandy, thank you so, so much for joining me. It's been
Thank you, Sally, for having me.
So good. So good. And thank you to all of the amount of Keep partners out there streaming and watching along with us today. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for dropping on in. Now, these episodes will drop over on my podcast, Straight Talk with Sally. But as always, guys, thank you, Mandy. Never let anyone dull your sparkle, and we're going to dance it out.
I will not bow down. Keep putting me off, I'm not gonna change my mind. You're headstrong forward, but this time around I'm taking my time. Don't push me, I'm not coming down, I'm not giving up. Oh, don't rush me, I may